What's up guys, welcome back to Let's Play Zoids vs. III. So, for completing the story mode, we unlock some new characters for tournament mode, and therefore unlocks another tournament. And obviously it's the Zoids Fuzors characters, if you guys couldn't tell. So, we're going to be sticking with RD here for our main, and we'll be switching over to Amy for our secondary. I just want to kind of show you guys who all we unlocked. We can play as Arrow if we want to, or some of the other characters from the campaign, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's not a 5th campaign for the story characters, which I really wish there would be, because this tournament mode is pretty easy. I really wish they would have had a 5th challenge mode one that is all just like balls to the wall hardcore fights, which unfortunately we don't have. I really would have appreciated that because like I said, there's some pretty... It really takes a long time for this tournament mode to become challenging, and that's a shame considering we have now unlocked every Zoid in the game that I care about. So our first opponent is against RD and Sweet, and they have their respective Liger Zero and Gustav, which I'm surprised we haven't fought a Gustav yet, and they saved it for this tournament as opposed to having it in Chaotic Sentry. But whatever, it's still in the game. We're going to be using a new Zoid here. We're going to be using the Diablo Tiger Beta, which I used the Diablo Tiger Alpha in Zoids Battle Legends. We're going to be seeing how this is different. I need to buy a booster for it, though, because, let's face it, it's no good without it. It has one weapon. If you guys remember correctly from Zoids Battle Legends or Zoids vs. II, the Diablo Tiger as well as the Cyclops were Zoids that were prototype Zoids, and they were the central focus of the campaign for that game. So they have one weapon. They're very, very stylized in their design, and they're very powerful. So the Diablo Tiger, as I've said before, I'll go on record by saying it's one of the fastest Zoids in the game. And it has only one weapon, and honestly, I don't really see any noticeable difference between the Diablo Tiger Alpha and Beta. This is my first time using it, so I guess the only difference is the some minor stat differences, because they perform exactly the same, they look exactly the same, and they have the exact same weapons, so it really doesn't matter. But I turned this one a nice bluish color just to kind of demonstrate it for you guys, because I figured, for the sake of completion, I need to be showing off all the Zoids that I didn't get a chance to show off, and all the top tier Zoids as well. So I have test played this to death, that's why it's taken so long to come out, and I have all the Zoids that I care to show off for the rest of the game. And if you guys have any requests, I may try to squeeze something in there, but for the most part I have exactly as many new Zoids as I want to show off for as many fights as this tournament is going to take. I have Amy on the Iron Kong PKMS again, and I'm going to be changing Zoids pretty much every fight. I have a very specific arrangement for which Zoids I want to use for which fight. Huh, RD actually managed to put up a fight with his Liger Zero. Not enough of a fight though, but A for effort, I guess. I'm using a slightly different screen resolution for this recording run as I did from the previous runs for this game, so let me know what you guys think. I personally kind of prefer the way it looked before, even though the quality of the resolution is better here. It's a smaller frame, which is what happens when you have these obsolete resolutions. With full HD you can kind of do whatever you want with it, but now it's like trying to get away with this old resolution is easier said than done. Alright, on to Battle 2. Now we're up against Helmet and Sigma in their respective Command Wolf AC, and I believe it's called a Bold Guard is the Zoid that he has. So sticking with the prototypes, we're going to be switching over to the Cyclops. This is the Cyclops, I think it's the Cyclops A and B or something like that. As far as I know, they're both the same. They both have very aesthetically different looking horns. This is a pretty cool Zoid, actually. I'm not a care for how it visually looks, but it has a badass weapon on it. It has this very powerful grenade launcher that's accurate. It has 120 shots, and it's overall just a great Zoid. I didn't buy any boosters for it or anything. It's quite large as well. Seeing it in the garage there doesn't really do much justice for how large this thing is, but then again, these are some pretty frail opponents. This Command Wolf AC, as much as I love Command Wolves, like I said, they're pretty frail, especially at this point in the game when we have such powerful stuff. So yeah, we're just going to blow him right the hell away. It took like less than 15 seconds to blow him away. And then the Bold Guard over here is... Oh man, that fight was over before it even started. I have nothing to say about that. Wow, that Cyclops is powerful. Yeah, that's a very weak Zoid. It's a new Zoid introduced for Zoids Fuzors. We have the opportunity to use it in the campaign. I never really cared to. I tried to integrate it in there somehow, but it was just not very good at all. And I'll demonstrate it if you guys really want to see it. It's kind of cool design, but useless. Alright, on to Battle 3. Alright, this time we're up against Rattle and Malloy and their respective Killer Spiner and Redhorn. Now, in the anime, again, he had the Killer Dome as a standalone Zoid, but because they decided not to include it in this game, we have to have a supplement for him. So the Redhorn works for that, and the Killer Dome is essentially just an add-on for the Dark Spiner, making it the Killer Spiner, as I said before. So we're busting out the big guns for this one. We're bringing out the Garyuki, which I demonstrated in the, where I fought against it in one of these fights before. I think he was in the the Saga Tournament is what it was. And it's a pretty cool Zoid. I believe the story behind it is it was developed by Zoitek to be inspired by the technology from the Berserk Fury. So it's basically a dinosaur type Zoid that's actually on the side of the good guys for a change, because the dinosaur types are usually for the bad guys, I've noticed. So this thing, basically, its stock weapons are pretty weak, and there's two big weapon racks you can buy for it. There's the Speed set and the Destroy set. I have the Speed set, I've tried it, I didn't care for it very much. This, however, is the Destroy set. It is excellent, it's what makes this thing actually useful. It has a savage melee attack as well, like most of the dinosaur type Zoids do. And I really do like this thing. I think it has great wing thrusters, much like the, and that's really cool, it has like a lightsaber that comes out of its forehead. How very appropriate. But yeah, the Destroy set, it has like 6 guns on its shoulders, and it has a smaller weapon rack beneath that fires, and it's just very powerful projectiles, a lot of splash damage, and goes in over a huge radius. It's pretty hard to miss with this thing. This thing would be a pretty appropriate opponent for the Berserk Fury, actually, and has about 3,000 health as well, so... The only thing I will say that Berserk Fury has the advantage on is so much reach with its melee attack, and the fact that those homing projectiles are pretty hard to dodge as well. Yeah, if I didn't say so before about the Killer Spiner, it's quite good itself. I demonstrated it during the campaign, and there's a lot to like about it. I wouldn't really use it myself, but there's a lot to like about it. Yeah, the first team we fought there was Mock Storm, and then these guys are a different team. I don't know who they are. Alright, Battle 4. Now we're up against Blake and Luke of the Savage Hammer team, and the Berserk Fury and Storm Sorter, respectively. Now, I believe Luke is supposed to have the Buster Eagle, which is not in the game, apparently, so they just have to give him a Storm Sorter to supplement for that. Again, you would think they would take the time to put in all the assets for Zoids Fuzors if they're doing a Zoids Fuzors game, but whatever. We still have the Berserk Fury Fuzor, which is, as you can see here, it has the Buster Eagle equipped to it, and it has some... Look at that color scheme! Oh, that's so badass. I love it. We're going to demonstrate this thing, because it's pretty incredible. I actually bought, like I said, a second Berserk Fury just to demonstrate this configuration. Unfortunately, the... much like the Liger Zero Phoenix and all the Liger Zero's attachments, you cannot detach the Buster Eagle from it. It is actually a completely separate Zoid. You can't just buy the Buster Eagle attachment and stick it on there, because as a result it has a completely different melee attack. It still has it basically just has the two weapons combined, and I don't know why I decided to use this against the stock Berserk Fury, mainly because I don't think I had another appropriate fight I feel like I could use this with. And the Garyuki was obviously a good match, as I said before, but for some reason I had a hard time with the Storm Sorter when it came to the Garyuki, so I think I just decided I'd rather have a Zoid that has homing weapon capabilities, so in comes the Berserk Fury. And our Iron Kong ally is getting in the way as per usual, but the Buster Eagle Cannon is so immensely powerful. If I didn't say so back in the campaign, we were fighting the Gojul's Giga. So we're going to wipe the floor with these guys really quick, and unfortunately have a little bit of difficulty taking out the Storm Sorter, which apparently decided it wanted to stop in midair for some reason, which I didn't know it should do. We may want to encourage them to rethink their strategy a little bit there. Yeah, the melee attack for this thing is incredible. Whoa, I actually managed to hit it out of the air. That was pretty good. It's like it sort of flies up in the air on its wings and swoops down, and it's pretty powerful. And it does have quite a fair bit of reach, not quite as much as the standard Berserk Fury's broken melee attack, but we'll take it for now. There we go. Cut him right off. I just figured I'd demonstrate that for those of you who wanted to see what it was like, and I probably won't be using it again.
You wanna